Hi everybody, Harris here with iDownload Blog, and today's video I want to look at a few tips that aren't your ordinary kind of generic tips, but these are very specific and what I think outside the box tips for particular moments or situations of your life. Let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully a few of these are useful for you because I know at least they have been useful for me. Okay, so number one is using the double tap on the back of the phone feature, specifically for Do Not Disturb. This is because I find myself sometimes in a situation where I forget to have muted my phone, but it's perhaps not appropriate or might be distracting to pull out my phone. So a meeting, a lunch with somebody, at church or, a place where you just don't want to be pulling out your phone, might be rude, disrespectful, distracting, whatever. With this feature, with the simple double tap of the back of your phone, you can turn Do Not Disturb on or off. And this does indeed work in a pocket, like through fabric, through some clothing. However, I believe, at least in my testing, you do have to have at least woken up the screen with the power button on your device in order to do this, and that with your device closed, you might not be able to do this. So to do this one, you can go into your settings and accessibility and then touch, and then you go down to back tap and just turn this on. So I have double tap being Do Not Disturb, and triple tap you can also do for something else. If there's something else that you might quickly or discreetly need to do, there's several options there, including you can do shortcuts, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to turn triple tap off and double tap on. So now if this is in my pocket, I simply will find the power button in my pocket and then do a double tap of the back of the phone, and it will turn Do Not Disturb on or off. Perfect for when I need to discreetly silence my notifications. Okay, number two. This one might be so particular and so niche that maybe no one actually needs it, but I think it's cool. So one of the focus modes is driving, and driving is the only focus mode that allows you to auto reply. So simply, this tip is to kind of appropriate this focus mode and use as auto reply. So say you're doing a day without your phone, which I know is probably pretty unrealistic for most of us, including me. But if you were and you wanted to just let people know that you weren't going to be responding that day, or maybe there's a certain group of people that you're trying not to respond to and you're only trying to respond to people from work or a certain group of friends or a group that you're working with or something like that for a weekend or a couple of days, you can set up this auto reply and then choose who you auto reply to. So you could say, hey, I'm taking the day off from texting, but I'll see your message when I get back. So it's kind of appropriating it from the, hey, I'm driving, I'll text when I arrive safely, to, hey, I'm taking the day off or the weekend off, or I'm working on a project or something like that. That way you only get notified by certain people, but if you need to take a few days off from texting, people won't be asking where you are. So that's just an interesting little tip that you might someday need, especially if you're trying to be intentional about maybe, like once a month, taking a weekend off your phone or a day off your phone or an afternoon off your phone. So there's that. Now, the next tip is another focus mode, and this is one I do all the time. If I'm ever waiting for someone to pick me up to go somewhere, or I'm waiting for someone to be ready for something, and I'm just waiting on their text to come through about when they're ready, but I really don't care about anyone else's text in that moment, and say I want to read a book or even like take a nap until they're ready, and I don't want to be disturbed by anyone else's useless messages, then you can create a Do Not Disturb profile or really any profile and just have that one person set as the bypasser by the people. So for instance, the other week, my buddy was visiting me in Boston from New York, and I was waiting for when his train was going to get in, and I didn't care about anyone else's messages, so I added him to my Do Not Disturb profile, so only his messages would go through. So this is a manual process. You do have to manually add them and remove them, but for me it was worth it because I was probably trying to take a nap or something. In fact, I was trying to take a nap because he was getting in pretty late, so I took a nap on the floor till like 10 p.m. when he texted me the train was here. so I could wake up and greet him. And once that situation was over, I'd go in and delete him from that because I don't need him anymore. And you want to make sure that you do turn on the allow notifications from toggle, and then you can customize the call options as you seem fit to make this fit your situation. Okay, so the next one is also pretty manual and pretty niche, but I have used this before and I imagine I'll use it again in the future. And that's using the Shortcuts app plus automation to automatically call somebody. Now, I think this is particularly useful if there's a call that you can't forget, like you need to make sure you make this call and you know there's a chance you forget it somehow if you're just a forgetful person. This will give you the ability to make that call no matter what, so you won't forget it. Or conversely, it'll notify you about the shortcut so that doesn't actually make the call, but it'll at least tell you to make the call and you just have to click dial. Or another situation, which is, kind of a tough situation to be in and, not exactly a great example of the will at use, but if there's a call that you need to make, but you really just don't want to make it for whatever reason, the person you're calling talks too much, or it's just not going to be a pleasant phone call, you can set up this shortcut and it'll just bite the bullet for you. It'll make the call. You just have to put it to your ear and start talking. So anyway, in the Shortcuts application, you will create a shortcut by clicking the plus button. I have one here. It's called Call Shortcut. You can click the three dots and you can choose it. For me, I have myself, and then I'll click Done. And then for automation, you do a plus, and then you're going to choose when or what situation. So you can actually do a variety of things. Say, when I arrive home, automatically call this person, or, any of these things. When I connect to this certain Wi-Fi or this certain NFT tag, just call this person. We'll do time of the day. We'll call it 3:58 p.m. And then you have two options. You can run after confirmation. So this will say, hey, do you want to call this person? Or basically, hey, this is about to run. Do you want to confirm? And you say yes. That way, if you're in the middle of eating a sandwich, it won't make the call just yet. Or you can run immediately and just have your phone on your desk. So that's going to start calling. And you're going to say, oh, there goes my phone. It's calling. And then you put it to your ear. We'll just do run immediately and notify when run. Click next. Okay. So then you get the shortcut options. We'll do call. And boom. So at 3:58, it's going to make this call. Let's go ahead and wait. And you can see it's running, and boom, started calling just like that. So again, it's kind of odd and it does require manual entry, but it can be really useful in several situations where you would like just a little bit of a hand with giving a certain number a call. Now I'll show you what it looks like if you do run after confirmation. We'll change the time to 3:59. Okay, and we'll wait for that. So you can see 3:59. So now I can click this and click run, and now it will call me. Okay, next, if you ever want to give yourself a semi-enforceable device clock timer for your iPhone, say you have 3 minutes and you just want to check one thing, and give yourself 3 minutes to do it, or you're taking a break in between hours of work or something, or study, and you say, okay, I'm going to do 10 minutes on Instagram. That's it. I want something a little bit more fine-tuned and adjustable and a little bit more abrupt than Apple's built-in timer. Okay, you're going to go into timer and create the length you want. We're going to do 1 minute for the sample. And when timer ends, do stop playing. And we'll start that. Actually, let's go back in. Let's make that 10 seconds so I can show you what it looks like. So when you have this turned on, when this timer expires, it's actually going to lock your screen, which is nice if you want to give this to a kid and say, hey, 5 minutes of play time, and then that's it, you're getting locked out. So you can see when it goes off, boom, your phone is locked. And this says, hey, stop doing whatever you're doing. So it's kind of like Netflix when it has the are you still watching screen. This is like the, hey, you're about to see a black screen. Stare into your soul and ask if you really need to keep using your phone. Just don't forget to turn that off, because then you're going to set a 5-minute alarm to wake up from a little nap, and it's not going to play anything, and then you're going to miss a meeting and blame me. So don't do that. Okay, and lastly, we're going back to shortcuts. If you want to schedule a birthday text, again, this is like really not showing a lot of willpower, but if there's a certain text you need to send, right, that could be a birthday text, that could be any text, you can actually schedule, the same way we did a call, you can schedule a text to be sent by using the send message, and you choose the message and to whom you want it to go, and you click done, and you do an automation, and you choose a certain time of the day. So we'll say 12:01 a.m. Actually, we'll say 12 a.m. so you can be the first person to send this text to this person. Then you have to choose when. Okay, so let's say someone's birthday is tomorrow, September 20. We click that. Now the problem with this, and you'll want this one to be run immediately for sure, so you can do it in case you're asleep. The problem with this is that it's going to repeat. You can't just do it once. You can do it every day, weekly or monthly. So after this text is sent, you will have to, so we'll finish that. You will have to go in and delete this or turn it off. But it is great for that one message you need to send. There's no repeat yearly option, unfortunately. That would be perfect, and then you could set this up and never forget a birthday text. Just have every contact have one of these. That'd be a little bit ridiculous, but that is the ability there. If there's an important text, no matter whether it's a birthday text or a hey, don't forget about this text, this is a way of doing that. Just remember to go in and turn it off afterwards. So you'll probably want to turn on the notify when run. That way you know it's sent and you can go back through and turn it off after. So those are several tips for the iPhone that are pretty specific, but I think are pretty cool. Like they're very, very practical, and I think outside the box. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.